Of myself and the players, I would just like to say a big thank you to all of you people for coming, because without an audience, without people coming in, it wouldn't be worth it and we wouldn't do it. And I'd like to say a big thank you to the Co-op Funeralcare as well. You know, without support of sponsors, Bowls would be a hard place. So let's give the Co-op Funeralcare a big round of applause for all the help they do. And although I have said it once, I'm going to say it again. We've been here before the event started. We take over the building for 3 days to build all of this and everything else. And the seats you're sitting on, the little stands, they're all built by the very people that look after the sites. And they come in and they work free of charge, so I've been told. And they do this all in one day. They start at 6 in the morning and get it finished for about midnight in one day. So can I just say to everybody at Newton Hall, a massive, massive thank you. And I'd just like to say thank you to the players, because doing what I do, well, sometimes I do it right, quite often more than not I do it wrong. But, do you know, we've got the greatest bunch of players there is to do this for. Rarely do they complain. Well, maybe not so rarely. But they're a great bunch, and they really are. And what many of you don't know is that quite often they'll go out and help disabled. They'll give them free tutoring, and they do all this in their own time, ladies and gentlemen. So, although most of the players have since departed from this building, I just want to make a public thank you to them all. And I'd just also like to thank the officials that are here, who give up days of work and come here, and particularly the 3 here this week. They've not had a break. Normally we run with 4. So they get a break, but unfortunately the 4th one had a choice. It was either here for a week or the games out in Australia. So he decided he'd rather go to Australia. So yeah, these 3 have been working their socks off, so thanks a lot, guys. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've waited all week. So now I'm going to sing you a song. Not. But I am going to read you a little poem. Right. So it goes a bit like this, ladies and gentlemen. I have a little sat-nav. It sits there in my car. A sat-nav is a driver's friend. It tells you where you are. I have a little sat-nav. I've had it all my life. It's better than the normal ones. My sat-nav is my wife. It gives me full instructions, especially how to drive. It's 60 miles an hour, it says. You're doing 65. It tells me when to stop and start and when to use the brake, and tells me that it's never ever safe to overtake. It tells me when a light is red and when it goes to green. It seems to know instinctively just when to intervene. It lists the vehicle just in front and all those to the rear, and taking this into account, it even specifies my gear. I'm sure no other driver has so helpful a device, for when we leave and lock the car, it still gives its advice. It fills me up with counselling, its journey's pretty fraught, so why don't I exchange it and get a quieter sort? Ah, well, you see, it cleans the house, makes sure I'm properly fed, it washes all my shirts and things, and keeps me warm in bed. Despite all these advantages, and my tendency to scoff, I only wish that now and then I could turn the bugger off. Hey. And I tell you what, that's pretty damn accurate. Eh? Eh? Come on, own up. How many men have got a wife like that? 1. You put your hand up. You put your hand up. Are your wives with you? No, that's why you're not afraid to say so, isn't it? Eh? Eh? You daren't put yours up. Where's your wife? She can't reach across there. Her tongue can, yeah, well. I'm not going there. No. Yeah, it's been good. I've enjoyed this week. I arrived here last Wednesday when it was all snowing, and I'm in one of the vans on the site. I got in the first night. Brilliant. Pipes were all frozen. No water. Ah, well, I thought, you know, we've got the heating on, that'll be all right. So we've got 2 minutes. So, and I'm sharing it with Tom, my ATD, my right-hand man. Yeah. I'm going to drop you right in it now. So I'm sharing this van with Tom, and like I said, the heating's on, but the water's genuine, it's all frozen. No washing, no showering, and can't even use the toilet. Okay. But the site were very good. Now my van's right over there, and the site said that's okay because we'll keep the swimming pool open so you can go and have a shower in the morning and use the toilet. Well, that's right down there, isn't it? Have you ever tried to run with no clothes on down there without anybody seeing it? No, it don't work. Anyway, the thaw started. I woke up about 2:30 in the morning to hear the sound of running water. Dashed into the kitchen. Oh yeah, it's thawed. The tap's thawed out, and the tap is running, but the sink is still iced up in the downpipe. The water has filled the sink, gone over the top, through the cooker, on the floor and everywhere. Turn the lights on. I'm looking for something to clean it. I eventually found something. I'm wringing it all out, and I think he'll get up in a minute and give me a hand. No. He's in his duvet, curled up, hears me, and just burrows deeper in the duvet and says, I'll leave it to him. So, I'm going to remember that, Tom. But as I'm cleaning, ladies and gentlemen, the lights went because the water got into the socket. I got no lights. He still stays me special. Yeah. That's not what I said. But there we are. Then the next night the bloody gas ran out and all, so we had a good time.
Well, we're down to the last match now, the final here at the International Open in Blackpool. And as we enjoy the outside of Blackpool, it has been sunnier than this today, I have to say. That's a little bit dull, but we've seen Alex Marshall in the semi-final. Last ball, trying to save the match against David Gurley, just inside the line, gets his own ball, but doesn't do enough to change anything. In the other semi-final, Greg Harlow was up against Mervyn King. Mervyn King, once again, he's left with a very similar shot. Inside runner to try and save the match. And a very similar result as well. Just on the inside, splits off his own ball, nothing happens.
One shot, second set.
It's Greg Harlow, the world #1 through to the final. Two players. Well, they're at this moment in time just practicing away for this International Open final. And of course, because they've played semi-finals earlier today, it's more a matter of being in a position of being very comfortable on the rink. No reason why they're not. There we go. David Gurley versus Greg Harlow. Not the easiest to call on this one, but we're due to rock and roll in a minute or two. So Greg Harlow, well, to be fair, I think Jason Parkinson with me in the commentary position, hasn't really faced anybody playing well apart from Paul Foster.
No, that's a true reflection, that, David. People have been struggling a little bit. Had a little bit of fortune just to get past Paul Foster. And then in the semi-final, Mervyn just didn't really turn up today. Was a little bit unlucky in the first set. You know, probably should have won that first set. But I don't think Greg's been tested so far today.
No, David Gurley, on the other hand, well, he's been playing well, very consistently throughout the game, or throughout this event. Alex Marshall put him under a lot of pressure. David came out with a lot of big bowls to beat Alex. He was arguably more consistent throughout the match, but the thing about David is he's the big bowl player. That's what you expect from him. And from this match, are you going to put a call on it, Jason?
Well, I think I'll just probably stick my nose out and probably just go for David Gurley at the moment. I think he played 4 huge bowls in the first set against Alex Marshall. Some good conversions, some good last-minute draw bowls, just to secure that second set.
Yes, he did play very, very well. There's no doubt about that. Played well in the tie breaks, but that's typical David Gurley. He's going to be the man that will be watching against the world #1 Greg Harlow here at Newton Hall in a minute or so. And to be truthful with you, no one can really call this match because you've got the world #1, the world #2 for next year, going head to head, and we've always been looking forward to this sort of a clash at the end of the season. All the other players now know their positions in the top 16. And of course, these players are in a position of knowing that they're going to be #1 and #2. So the crowd are in by the looks of it. They've had their breaks after the semi-final. They're ready to go. So final coming up, David Gurley against Greg Harlow. Join us in a couple of minutes for the start of it.
Shocking. Well, not so much shocking, it's bloody lucky. That's all I can do, my dear, is talk about it. I can't even bloody remember it. It's warm in here with this one. Give them a big cheer when we bring them in, yeah? I've got a word for that, but I can't say it in public.
Well, the players have had their roll-up and their practice. They've had their little comfort break. We're ready to rock and roll now on the rink. So we'll hand over to Richard Madison, who will introduce the players.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final of the Co-op Funeralcare International Open here at Blackpool Newton Hall. Let's give a massive welcome to the players we're about to bring on. It's Scotland versus England. Well, ranked at #5 in the world is the reigning Scottish International Open champion and Scotland's Commonwealth Games head coach. Let's give a huge welcome to David Gurley. And up against David, it's a former world indoor singles champion. He's won this very event 3 previous times. He's also 3 times a Scottish International Open champion. It is the world number 1, Greg Harlow. And I'll hand you over to commentary with David Corkill and Jason Greenslade.
Two players that know each other extremely well, of course. I felt throughout this event that Greg Harlow, apart from a match with Paul Foster, he's really had the opportunity to play within himself. David Gurley really did step up to the plate and play some big bowls against Alex Marshall.
Certainly did. Got out of jail a few times just towards the end of the first set. So 2 slightly longer sets for the final. So the final will be 2 sets of 11 ends. It's normally 9, but the final it's 11 ends. And then if we can't split these 2 players, then we'll go into the usual 3-end tie break. And this really wouldn't surprise me if it doesn't go to a tie break. Really doesn't. There's a few in the crowd from Scotland. You could hear there a lot of local support for David Gurley.
Yeah, so it's not too hard to get down from Scotland to Blackpool, is it? So I suppose that would make sense. But Greg Harlow, well, he'll probably be quite surprised at what happened in the semi-final with Mervyn King. Mervyn was going well for the first set, certainly in the first 5 or 6 ends, and then the wheels fell off and really didn't recover after that. But a good semi-final for Mervyn. Keeps him well in the ranking list, and that's what's important for a lot of these players at this stage.
Well, this is a very good correction ball from David. Inch perfect down the backhand. Set nicely.
Slightly short.
Jack high.
So Greg Harlow be arriving into this. Just turn the red ball away. Touch on the jack will be very good.
Well, good stuff. Greg's very close to this ball to try and rest it off. If he gets the ball and moves the jack, it'll do. Yep, that'll do. Oh, is it going to fall back? It is. Goodness me. Well, that's close.
Favour red, but it's very close.
What's the distances, please?
Just over an inch.
Right, I'll just see that.
So he was unlucky there. Nearly played that inch perfect. Red ball just stayed in and fell back. So it's not easy for David.
There's not an awful lot he can do with this, to be truthful with you. If there's a slight favour for red, it's almost better to stay away from it. Just try and make it difficult for Greg. He has to be very careful he doesn't drop. Well, I'm not so sure about that. You know, it's that gives Greg a big shoulder to come off. He can roll off that last ball.
I think just another foot in that last ball would have been a bit better.
I think that's what he was aiming for, to be honest with you, Jason. He was looking for that extra little bit.
Well, reaching this. Just needs to hold now. 1-2.
Now is he going to drop? He has. He's just dropped away. I think it's 1 to red.
1 red.
Yep. And it looks like David Gurley will be on the forehand now. I can't imagine he'll play the backhand.
No, it looks a bit dangerous on the backhand. Greg was in the area there, probably just half a ball tight. Nice wide forehand draw. Get back down to the green bowl. Little touch on the jab.
Both these players have had the opportunity to stay with their own colour of balls from the semi-finals. That's always a help. It wasn't an easy add-on for David, so just dropping a bit short.
On shot, David Goulet.
Both players very much playing for the title here because say the ranking points are already decided with regards to their positions. Greg Harlow is going to be #1 for next year, and David Gurley #2. And that's a tremendous performance for David Gurley. Well, you think about it, Jason, because he has been living away from the UK for a number of years, and he's back playing a lot this year in particular. But then he was playing well last year as well.
Yeah, he's been playing well for the last few years. Although he doesn't play a lot of bowls, he's very disciplined. He arrives nice and early, gets some timing on the carpet. You know, as soon as it gets laid on the portable rink, you can normally see David Goulet just on the rink, just behind it. But the difference between match play and practice is huge.
That's why it's important for David to get through that first 2 rounds. He really needs to get a good draw in the first round in particular to get his way into the match, to get or into the event, get an opportunity to get the rust off.
Our ball, please.
About 18 inches to jack high.
Yeah, it'd be a great season for him if he can just get through this final. 2 WBT events in the same kind of year is just tremendous.
My ball, please.
22 inches to jack high.
And just the one down.
Yes.
Let's push this one out wide.
On red.
David Gurley beat Michael Stepney in Perth, Scottish International Open in November. 9-4, 11-7, played really well in that event, played some tremendous bowls. So we're back into 2 finals is some going.
It's finished well, I can just fall back, I should just count another.
Last ball, please.
Last bowl, 2 feet past jack high.
Thank you.
So Greg will just stick to his forehand. Either side of this green short bowl with good pace, should be very good. Just doesn't want to run into the back of it.
One green.
Just enough.
Last year, David Gurley, quarter-final, lost out to the eventual champion Jimmy Chesney, 8-all and 8-5. It was a tight match. So he is really Mr. Consistent. Now, a little pushy shot. Looking for the ball solid.
Oh, well played.
Played that really well. Beautiful weight. Just to punch it out with 4 or 5 feet of running.
You can see down the backhand, nice and solid.
Absolutely middled it. Greg will be pushing into this now. Forehand runner. Right on the inside edge of the mat. Just, ooh, that's right on the edge.
It certainly is. Going quick. He's played it wide.
If he misses the front one, well, I don't think it made any difference anyway.
3 shots, David Goulet.
Set score 4-0 after 2 ends.
Yeah, there's still a 3 there before that. Just very nearly got to the edge of the jack.
Certainly did. So, ideal start here for David.
long matches though, or longer matches. Many years ago, these finals used to be over.
26
International
meters.
Open would have been the equivalent to UK singles, and one stage we were over 5 sets, then 7, and at one time before that we were on 9 sets.
Is that when it was 7 up? Was it 7 up sets?
7 up sets, 9 sets. They were tough. Tough days. Lost 5-4 in one of those.
Oh, really?
Couldn't walk for about 3 days after it.
5-4. Kept up forever.
7-5 in the last set. Went on for just so many breaks as well. We had to, no choice. Crowd needed a break. I think it took about 6 hours to play the match.
18 inches past jack high.
I was much younger in those days. It was all right. Well, this is where David had a problem in the semi-final. Just dropping the second ball short too often.
Yeah, we've seen a few short balls today. So still plenty of room here.
There's one red.
The better balls have been played
Play the
either
green.
on a full length jack or a very, very minimum length jack. This kind of midway has been very tricky.
It's a full length jack. Obviously, you push the ball out, gives it a chance to come back to the centre of the rink, but it's a lot more reliable. This is a club rink at the end of the day. It's not the portable rink that the World Bowls Tour events normally are played on.
Good correction. So something similar for Greg. Nice backhand draw. Just needs to reach now. Well, it's another
One red.
second.
Yes, and he has got the back position, so he can certainly think about attacking it. In the meantime, David Gurley will be trying to get another one in.
Just see David there, just asking it to slow down a little bit. A foot past the jack here would be very good. Just needs to fall back now.
So he wants to stop, so if Greg flicks the ball off, he doesn't lose a couple. Certainly worth maybe just a 1 second. Choices here because you can rest into this with enough to flick the ball off or punch it through. That's what he's looking for.
Well, down it comes now. It's not far away from this.
But the jack, well, it depends on how far that jack goes, if it goes onto the respot or not. We've got a very solid contact on it.
One shot, David Gurley.
So stayed on just for the one to red.
Yeah, I think the target was just to
5-0
flick
after
the
3
shot
ends.
ball away from the jack. He was unlucky there.
It was the right idea, good weight for it, and very, very close to getting it right. David Gurley will take the single.
Jack length 25 metres.
That's a slight touch.
Well, he's out on a good line. Just don't think he's reached with his first bowl.
Early change for David onto the backhand. Just needs to stand up a little bit longer. There's a tendency to pull inside in this particular backhand in this direction.
Well, good correction here from Greg. Just wants to pick the jack up. Yes, well played.
It did bounce a little bit there, but I think he still held on to it.
David can use Greg's ball now. Just land off it. Can afford to play a tightish line. See here, just trying to hold the ball up with a little bit of pace. Don't think he's got enough pace.
Oh, he needs to hurry on this line. Trying to get here in time to fall off his own ball. Close, very close.
On green.
Still 1 to green.
Just lacking just that little bit of pace. It was in the area. Didn't like it.
Well, I'm not sure there's much Greg can do about this one. He just has to very wide draw and hope to sneak around the front red one. But David will be looking to punch the green ball out. Now, if he uses enough weight, the front red ball will protect him from his own.
Yeah, it's a big bowl this really, because if he gets this, not only is it 3 shots, it's just that 8-0 lead so early on in this second set. If he can just land on Greg's ball full and fall behind the jack, that would be Greg in a whole heap of trouble. Won't be easy to get at.
No, he has to use a certain amount of weight to get past the front one. He's in the area.
Green ball solid.
Oh, he's got it.
And behind the jack.
Well, a bit unlucky. He's brought the jack out into the open.
3 red.
But
You know,
it's,
just keep playing the shots.
1 down to 3 up. Good, good turnover.
Yeah.
Just wanted to miss the jack on the way past. Greg, forehand runner. Now, how's he going to use this green ball? Because he looks wide. Yeah, didn't even look like that was coming back.
3 shots, David Gurley.
So, David Gurley, man from Scotland, now living in Spain, storms into an 8-0 lead in this final.
Yes, good takeout shot by David Gurley. Nice weight. That was the key to it, the weight he used.
Well, he'll be delighted with this lead.
Yes, early doors though. 11 ends for the set.
Tackling
A whole lot different if you're
26.5
playing to
metres.
9 and you're 8-0 up. But lots and lots of ends to go.
Just adjusting his grip there. The players were saying it's very hot on the rink. Doesn't like this.
It doesn't look too bad to me. It looks like the line's pretty good.
So he turned his back on it, but
12
just
inch
short,
gap.
I think.
That's all. Must be just the weight. The line looked pretty decent. Second ball, David. Don't want to be dropping it.
So Greg changing his hand.
That second ball, David's just getting caught a few times. The last end proved the value of having balls in the head. He was able to take one green out and he ended up scoring a 3.
Yeah, it's all about giving yourself the best chance. So won't want to be short with this one. He's finding a good line with these balls. Well, this isn't short.
Well, the overcorrection, isn't it? He just didn't want to be dropping on the light side. It's giving Greg another opportunity to draw close.
That's a good ball from Greg.
1 green. 3 inches short of jack high.
Again, there's a shot on here for Davey to arrive at that green ball. Nice and solid, will make a 2. If he gets hold of the jack, that will be a 2. Well, all on his pace.
He's in the area.
Fall off his own, he's just short.
Yep, just didn't push through it. Surprised me a little bit because he had the back red ball. He was just waiting there for the jack, so Greg Harlow's going to get onto the card this end. Should be a 2, but if he's able to trail that jack a shade, he could make a 3. Made the double.
2 shots, Greg Harlow.
As expected.
Yeah, just give Greg just too many chances that end.
2 after 5 ends.
Just hoping to have a little nibble of the jack to make the 3, but 2 it is. He'll be very happy to get his account opened. For a lot of people watching, it's the ranking lists are vital. Oh, that jack looks like it's scooted on a bit. Oh, I think I heard a little thump there. Didn't expect that. Certainly not from players in a final. There's 3 yards or 3 meters there after the tee.
Yes.
Lots of space to play with. So, David delivers a jack. Greg will have the first bowl. I'm just looking through the ranking lists, and any changes there have been really not a lot from last year, but Michael Stepney, final of the Scottish, has come in to number 16. Andy Thompson, well, he's dropped down a lot, and he's on the edge now at number 15. Jason Greenslade, 14. Mark Royal, Les Gillett, Mervyn King, and then all the usual stuff. But Mark Dawes, world champion, number 9. So just winning the world championship, even though you're in the top 16, doesn't guarantee a top 8 place.
No, that's right, David. He just needed to get another good few points under his belt. His first tournament back since winning that. I expected Mark to do slightly better, but it's one of those things.
Yes, Nicky Brett's dropped down a bit from 2 to 6. Darren Burnett's moved from 9 to 5. Paul Foster the same, and Rob Paxton's moved up, as has David Gurley. So a little bit of shuffling around there. These 2 guys are going to have quite a break in points, though. That's the thing.
Just needs to get down to this red ball now. Yep. Just overplayed again.
2 green.
Yes, a lot of tournaments on you find certainly around the world, particularly in the southern hemisphere. You have very narrow line balls coming down, maybe 2 feet of green, just tuttling along, but that doesn't happen up in the UK. Generally speaking, we use a wide bias ball. Good to see it.
So another little chance here for David. 2 down, but still got about a foot to draw.
You can see David pushing that ball well outside, just to let it come back. Very wide arc. Just going to get caught.
3 green.
Yep, slightly there. He made it back almost to centre rink, so it was just over the weight. Bit of a loose end though. When you're 8-2 in front, that's the last thing you need.
Yeah, that's right. It was David's jack length as well. You can see the difference in line.
Four
Just
green.
scooted inside, but David Gurley's in a bit of bother here.
Certainly is. He's 4 down.
Nothing really on, just a draw, but the worry he has is overcorrecting. That's the problem. He still has to push the ball out wide.
Yeah, we're looking for a second at least here. So the line's good. What's the weight like?
Well, it's got to be better.
It's well played.
No, he's nailed it with the last one. We're going to do it, I suppose, do it with that one, but
Yep.
you don't want to dip into that well too much.
Yeah, it's all about just keeping
Sets
you
for
calm.
9-2 after 6 ends.
Did that a few times in the semi-final. You know, when he had a loose end, he either played a good conversion or a really, really good draw ball to get out of trouble. Again, a 5-shot turnaround with 1 ball. So he'll be relieved with that.
Jack length 25.5 metres.
Trying to encourage this one forward. He knows he hasn't really pushed it.
How far short, please?
22 inches to jack high.
Just nearly 2 feet, and that's. I think the problem for Greg is the fact the ball's sitting at an angle. If he hits it, it'll be right on top of the jack. So better to play safe, go onto the backhand.
Well, just managed to limp in. Well, Greg just looking to beat his own ball. He has done.
Two green.
Well, David just wants to make a connection on the shot ball or just pull the jack round.
Oh, he's played this well. Played it
Well
really
played.
well. Lovely weight. made the adjustment.
Greg will attack this, just punch his own bowl onto the red bowl or just get round for the jack. Just lacking a bit of pace.
Well, certainly worth David turning this jack again, take the danger away.
Yes, definitely. Can just flick it behind his own bowl. Doesn't want to sit at the side of the jack.
Trying to encourage it forward. He's close.
Yes, well played.
Played it very well. Thing is that Greg's got a shot on here to punch right into this and hope to take the two reds away. So something could happen. There's nothing at the back of the head, so it depends on if the reds travel with the jack or not. Oh, he really pulled that one. Goodness me.
Two shots, David Goulet.
Oh, David Goulet, two good correction bowls with his third and fourth. Takes another two.
Set score 11-2.
See, as soon as he let go of his own bowl, he was tight all the way, Greg. Just see David Goulet's bowl here.
Yes, it was on his backhand, and yeah, probably using more weight than he would normally like to. But match is moving on at a pace. David Gurley's wasting absolutely no time. Not a lot of chat between the two players.
No, there isn't, that's right. Getting his head down.
Yep, just getting on with it.
Jack length 25 metres.
Be looking to try and get this set one within the 9 ends. That's a better start.
Just pulled away enough not to frame the jack. A gap on a hole there, which is good, but Greg, just draw away at this.
That's well played.
One green.
11-2, 4 ends to go. Still the set's not safe for David Gurley, so some work to be done. Certainly the way Greg came back strong at Mervyn King in the first set of his semi-final. David doesn't want to take any risks. Oh dear.
Bit of a let off. I can see he's not happy there.
Two green.
Well, it's 2 green. The second one's a bit of a distance away, but David really needs to put 2 feet on this. You know, he doesn't want to start losing soft doubles.
Well, this needs to bend quick now.
Be doing well to get second out of this one. Yeah, that just didn't look right. It just looked always on the wide side. This is going to be a very, very soft count for Greg Harlow, and that's exactly what he needed in this match. Everything he's played before has been hard to score. That looks like a better line.
Certainly is. Wants to get back now. Is he reaching?
Oh, I don't believe that. Has he sneaked around it for the third?
I think he has. It's hard to tell from here, but he's having a look. Just needed to run for that jack.
He had to wait. I thought his line was better. That's maybe why David Gurley pushed out on the wide side.
Umpire, please.
Well, I'm going to measure it anyway. It should have been a given for 3, but may not be the case.
2 green, measure for 3.
Still a soft count though.
Yeah, it certainly is.
So 3 more ends to go after this set, or after this end. Just to let everybody know there's still a bit more work to be done in this first set.
Three shots, Greg Harlow.
Set score 11-5 after 8 ends. Jack length 31 metres.
Craig's on the mat and ready to go again. Francis Fletcher's barely had time to get away and in position. But that was a soft 3 though. That's David Gurley will not want to do that again.
No, he played a good couple of first bowls, but just didn't recover. Greg played a good trail shot to allow that 3 to happen.
Well, only just. Oh, love is.
Mr. and Mrs. Chalice. Part of the family that own the holiday parks.
Yes, the Partingtons.
Yes.
Just in case anybody thought it was the Parkinsons. That's all. I'm just thought, hey, up, you're in here because of your family connections.
Slightly different spelling. Always come in and support the final. So, David's just slightly overcorrected.
Yes, it doesn't take much
green
to
and a measure.
start lose your way on these sort of matches. It's you have to just keep plugging away. Sometimes when you're behind like 11-2, you're sort of thinking, well, let's just try and make the score look a bit better. And then all of a sudden you pick up a couple of ends and you're right in the hunt.
That's right, yep. Something wrong again. So another chance here for David.
Just short of 3 feet past Jack high.
Well, this can just run to the jack. He's just pulling up again.
Oh, he is. He's just not making it. And really, that was the one to do it with. That was the one to put it right in there and try and score the single shot. It's another end gone, and that would have been enough. As it is, Greg's got a chance to add to make it a double, and 2 shots here would suddenly this set would close right up. Looks good for number 2. And that's what David Gurley was looking for. Well, he might be tempted with this on the runner.
Yeah, he's having a look at it. There's plenty to hit down the forehand. I think he'll take a time out here. Yep.
David has 5 timeouts remaining.
There's plenty of timeouts available. Get an extra one with the final with 11 ends. You know, the further he gets away from him, the more you can see the backhand is very narrow in terms of the target.
Your third bowl.
Whereas the forehand, well, it's got more of a percentage shot running into it. He's on the backhand, goodness, he has to be very accurate with this. It's easy to miss this one. Wow, he's trying to draw this off.
Trouble is, if he catches just the outside of this green bowl, he's going to be no better.
Well, he has to be up. That's the problem. You know, I'm not sure about that. With the choice of shot, I really am unsure whether that was the right way to go. And like the forehand offered all sorts of opportunities. Taking the 2 out, and they're looking at the third one now, and that would be another. Well, that would be a very soft treble, this one.
2 shots, Greg Harlow.
Yep, this is the number 1 shot. Greg last ball. Didn't touch the jack.
7 after 9
He's picked up a double, and that's 5 shots and 2 ends, and really that's too many as regards to David Gurley.
Yep, yet again, Greg's just crawled his way back into this set. David just needs to score this end.
Jack length 30 and a half
Even if he just loses one, I don't think it'd be a massive disaster, but ideally we're wanting just to close this set out on this end. Such a smooth delivery, Greg.
Yeah, it's always been the same. The only time it becomes just a little bit strained is when he plays the running ball and very heavy. Normal running ball, absolutely perfect. But occasionally he tries to put more into it and it just loses the fluidity.
So a good start for Greg. David will just try and get a really good second with his first at least. That's a good start.
David Gurley
No,
really wants to get the shot here.
Yeah, playing the open hand.
If there's been any sort of weakness in his game in the last couple of matches, it's been that short ball that he's been playing. Just a little bit too often, especially with the second delivery.
One green.
Perfect line with both bowls, just lacking just a little bit of pace.
But he's given Greg a chance to pop another one in. He's no back position. Dropped it again with the second ball. Don't get me wrong, not much, just 15 inches. He's just putting himself under pressure, but has Greg failed?
Yeah, he's short as well.
Well, that's a bit of a let-off. That really is a bit of a let-off, although where he's finished has probably hampered David Gurley a bit.
On a dead draw, there's still plenty of room around this bowl. Doesn't want to turn it in, but there is room around it. Nice strong bias bowl. That's a good line.
Needs to hurry.
Yeah.
Looks short to me. Goodness me, David, what are you doing? Well, this is a great chance for Greg Harlow to add another, and if Greg does and scores a double, he's fought his way back to within 2 shots, going into the last end, and a set really that should have been so far away from him. It should be in the distance.
That's right, yes. So just a couple of loose ends. Greg scored a 3 and a 2. Got himself right back into this. So pressure-wise, this will be a big bowl for Greg. He can just fall in just behind the jack. Won't be easy.
Yes, he's had to go on the wide side, but there is a big, strong pull here in the forehand. It's just how far he's going to get back. Well, David Gurley will do nothing other than just try and draw this. Absolutely no point in playing anything other than the draw. But he has to be careful not to punch a green ball in and give Greg an extra one.
Yeah, that's right. He's played some good lines. He just needs to adjust the pace. Will come back for him. Either hand's available on a dead draw. Thinking about it.
Yeah, well, he's given himself space here because he realises just how important this is. That's why he's moved onto the forehand. There's almost no chance of giving an extra shot away in the forehand.
Yeah, this is a bigger swing as well. Down it comes now.
It's just not going to make it back in time, but just the one shot. That's a good head of balls, don't get me wrong.
Shot, Greg Harlow.
And David's balls are very close, but Greg Harlow's got one in the middle of it.
David has 4 timeouts remaining.
And he keeps that score running. The
after
last
10
3 ends. 3, 2, 1. Needs a 3 this end. Not very often we see a first ball of an end like that staying the whole time.
Yeah, that's right. This normally gets beaten or moved at some point. So Greg will be looking for a repeat of that.
Meters.
Needs to score a 3. That's going to be his first aim, just to get into a position where he can tie this set. Well, good opening bowl.
Gap is 12 inches.
Dave will just try and put his first bowls as close as he can. And then if Greg starts to group a couple, just needs to cover them.
Yes, the only danger he has, he doesn't want to be dropping short.
Yeah, that's right. There's nothing for short bowls on this end.
Well, that's the difficulty with a short ball, is just getting out of trouble.
Well, he's played a good ball here if it just reaches.
That's a decent starter. I'm going to be happy with that.
One red.
Has he got the wrong? Oh, he has got the wrong side. I was going to say he got the wrong or the right side of this bowl, but he was just on the underneath of it.
2 inches.
So David just asking what the gap is. Just a couple of inches.
Yeah, still needs to push through it. Still needs to reach that green bowl. That's where the target is.
Well, he's on a wider line. Has he got the extra pace? This needs to run.
Oh, he's dropping it short. Well, it's not too bad, but it's not ideal.
Not at all. It just frames that head now.
1 red.
Just that second bowl short again.
Well, the problem is the second ball's been short more than it's been up to jack high. In the last few matches for David Gurley, it's something that you would say would have to improve on, but it's a bit late now. It's in the final.
Good to let him off here.
Or has he?
Oh.
What a result that is. What a result. Oh.
It's just on the narrow line. It's always available.
Yes, yeah, well, it's not just that it was available. It's just
Yes.
what's happened to it. That's all.
Yeah, it's the result more than anything.
He's brought his own ball into the head. He's wiggled around the short red
Timeout
under the
called.
jack. He's tightened that all down, and he's managed to keep his own balls all in play. He's actually left it in a position where he could win this set. The way that ball was coming down, if you'd hit it absolutely solid, then nothing was happening.
Yeah, I honestly thought he was slightly narrower than that. Held well.
And now David Gurley, well, he's in a bit of bother here.
Well, if he can just play one really good close bowl. Well, it's on a good line. How's your pace, David? This is looking good.
Yeah, he's certainly in the area.
Oh, well played.
Oh, that's a great shot. That is a great shot. That's a great recovery ball. Really is.
That's a fantastic bowl.
Oh, I'd be a very relieved man to see that
David
go
has
in, I
3
can tell
timeouts
you.
remaining.
Still possible to get it out, though. If he gets a split, the red ball will disappear. One of the green balls will go, but his own ball should stay in.
Timeout called. Greg has 5 timeouts remaining.
David Gurley just stand and wait and see what happens with this one, because he'll be hoping he doesn't have to play his last ball. See what he's trying to do here. He's trying to get to the front of the red ball and drop back to make it a 3. How
nearly done
close
it.
is this? How close is that? Oh, what a ball. Has he made the 3? I think he has.
He has.
3 green.
That's a
That's
tremendous
an
bowl.
unbelievable ball. Absolutely unbelievable shot.
Well, David will just try and hit this through the hole.
That's hard to believe that he played that.
David has 2 timeouts remaining.
Oh, that's a fantastic shot. There's no doubt about it. You know, I thought he was trying to fall back on the red, but he's actually crunched the jack enough to touch it, and the front green ones come into play.
Well, he's played that literally inch perfection there. So David just needs to hit this head, just remove any of the bowls.
Oh, this is not easy because it's a very narrow gap down there at a full length.
Doesn't like this.
Goodness, how could he be in this position from 11-2?
Well, there's a small port. He's got it. He's got this.
Oh, yes. Oh, what a ball. Oh, 2 tremendous balls at the end of that. 3 tremendous balls, actually.
He'll be
That's a
very relieved with that.
brilliant strike shot after a brilliant ball from Greg Harlow. So Greg Harlow, after looking as if he was just about to hang on to things, sees his balls disappear. He takes a single, but that's not enough. 11 shots to 9 in favour of David Gurley. Join us for the very exciting second set in this International Open final here in Blackpool.
That's the best ball I've seen. Yeah. Yeah. You touch it an inch.
And we're returned back to the arena. Crowd just having a moment as well. They'll settle themselves down. A second set of this final, 11 ends. And what an exciting end to that first set. I have to say, Greg Harlow played a brilliant ball. And prior to that, David Gurley had played a fantastic shot. And then David finished it off with that forehand runner.
Certainly did. That was a top class last end. Well, so we go straight into this second set. Little sigh of relief there for David, I think. Corky.
Absolutely. Goodness me, he'll be delighted with that, because that was dangerous all the way. And fair dues to Greg, you know, 3, a 2, a single, and he was lying the 3 for a tied set. And 7 shots in the last 4 ends, and it could have been even better for him. Sometimes 11-2, you're sort of thinking to yourself, I just want to make the score look a bit better, a bit more presentable, and you relax and play a few better bowls. Your opposition makes a couple of mistakes, and suddenly you're back in there again.
Well, David's out on a good line again, as long as he hasn't over-adjusted. Just that short second bowl again. Just needs to sort that one out. You can just see he's aware of it.
Green.
Oh, David, this is not the opening end you wanted.
No, he's sliding underneath it. But,
needs to stay up.
We've been hearing that there's people watching this final all around the world. Friends in the United States are watching. Good to hear that. Bowls is played in the United States.
And the gap for the jack and my bowl, please.
13 inches.
Thank you.
But no matter where you are, I hope you're enjoying this. It's a fascinating game, there's no doubt about it.
Well, a good adjustment here from Greg. A little touch on the jack. That should just be enough to make 2.
Yes, he'd be happy enough with that.
2 green.
But it is good to hear our viewers and listeners around the world. Hopefully some of my family in Boston are listening.
Oh,
A little bit of luck, watching. We're from Ireland. Of course they're in Boston. And in Australia.
We're all
David.
left off.
Oh, dear me, what are you
2
doing
shots,
down
Greg
there?
Harlow.
Goodness me. It's a long way away from where he wanted to be. And really, David Gurley can't afford to slip up. Greg Harlow will dominate if he gets the opportunity.
Jack length 31 metres.
So Greg sticking to his long length jacks. Well, a really good opening bowl for Greg.
6-inch gap.
Not much wrong with that, just a shade, but 2 good starter bowls. Four balls each, of course, just for our viewers who don't understand the sport of bowls. 11 ends in each set. The advantage about this game is that once you put a good ball down, your opponent can always destroy that good work. David, second ball again, just dropping.
1 green.
He's on a good line, making the trip, so it's going to be a really good bowl, this.
Oh, he's played it well. Interesting to see whether David decides to draw this or comes through it.
Nominate the bowl. 2 green.
You know, there is a forehand push into, oh well, the ball's dropped. That makes a difference. Jack's going into the ditch now, it's not going to the side. David might just decide to try and draw this.
Yes, I think so. Just an extra 2 feet of pace. Similar line. We're very close to this. Give it a chance.
Needs to hurry. Needs to run a bit and drop back. No, he's been unlucky, it hasn't dropped. But it's a great second shot.
It certainly is.
1 green.
Still 1 green, but that red ball came back a long, long way.
Absolutely. And for anybody that's watching in the southern hemisphere playing with straight bowls, sorry guys, that's what we like to see there. Coming in from 6, 7, 8 feet wide. There's an argument that straight bowls have ruined the game. I personally think they have, but that's not the fault of the manufacturers. They're just fulfilling the need. It's the fault really of the people who produce the Master Bowl.
Yes, I've said that myself a few times. Seems to be getting some tighter and tighter bowls out there.
Well, they don't win these events. They certainly do in the outdoor, especially in the southern hemisphere, but I can understand why, because of the wind conditions in New Zealand and certainly the fast greens. But come on, guys, we don't need things that are running 2 feet down the rink.
Oh, David, if you're making the trip, you couldn't just get to this bowl and flick it over, could it?
In the area again.
Oh,
Goodness, take the one and run. Yes, indeed. 4 balls each up.
One shot, Greg Harlow.
just needed a little touch on the jack. He's very unlucky.
Good stuff, though.
You can see down the wide line again, just looking to get back to this jack for a
Set
2.
score 0-3
Second
after
prize
two.
would have been just to push this green bowl over. Just sat back against it. Still 1 green.
Jack length 29.5 metres.
So Greg's playing some really good stuff this second set.
Yes, he had that run for 4 ends in the first set, and that's made all the difference in the world. So it gives you, not only gives you the confidence to play a bit better, but also to show it your opponent, who was in total control at the time, was capable of faltering.
Oh, great reply.
Gap on the shot ball, 2.5 inches.
Just dipping underneath, just can't hold up for this jack. Something similar for David. In the area.
Keep pushing through. Second ball drop short again. What's going on?
I just don't know. It's really strange. He's played a really good opening bowl there and just relaxed a little bit maybe.
Greg, are you going to hold up past the red one? Just need to get past the front.
Well, another chance here for David. If he can just get back to the red and green bowl, sit off it, it'd be
One red.
really good. Might just lock the jack in.
Which ball's the second shot?
Second ball, just behind.
I think if David can just get to that bowl, it'll just cover 2 shots.
Yes, he'll cover the little trail at the same time, and
Doesn't want to get to the jack. That will be the only bad result he can get here.
yeah, has to be careful here. Gentle, gentle. Doesn't want to open it up.
That's a great bowl.
Yep, that's very good. That's a double cover, is he? Gets a second shot
2 red.
and cover from the jack moving through.
Yes, that's right. Greg can still get the shots here, but that certainly stops Greg counting a 3. So he's still staying on this forehand on the inside of the mat.
So he's trying to hold the bowl up as long as possible on the bias, so that it comes back into the head again very late in its travel. It's a technical thing, but it's a good way to play it. Well, David Gurley's going to get on the card in this second set now.
Exactly the same bowl will be very good. Just sit into the split. Big 3 chance here. Doesn't like it. Just seemed to just drop his head a little bit there, as if there was something wrong with it.
Just whether he's pushed through it or not.
Well, if it just swings, he's not far away.
Well, the line looks decent. Just needs to hurry. Oh, he's missed a chance.
Two shots, David Gourlay.
It wasn't an easy chance, but he missed the chance and he knew it out of hand. Something wasn't right.
Set score 2-3 after 3 ends.
So David will shorten this jack up yet again. It's been playing around about the 26 metre length roughly.
Jack length 25 metres.
25 metres.
Well, there you go. You can't go wrong, eh? Friday afternoon, Friday evening with a nice pint of something cool.
Yeah. Nice pint of cloudy lemonade. That's a good adjustment. Good second ball there for David Gourlay.
More like it.
Greg just going to miss this on the outside.
It's just that little bit of extra weight, and as you see, our score just been adjusted for David Gourlay, putting those two up in case we're going to be accused of any problems regarding putting scores up for David Gourlay. Go on, Jess, you look after it.
my BDI. Well, a good ball again. Well, it doesn't make it any bigger.
No, and sufficiently behind the jack so he's not coming off anything. And Greg will be just looking to draw this in for second shot. Yep, once again, very much on that inside edge. There's about the toe of a shoe, must be just about covering about an inch of it.
Well, he's well played.
One red.
So I might just put David in two minds, but he's sticking with it. Yeah, he's just going for cover.
Yes, he's obviously expecting Greg to hit this. Although with only one ball in the head, I'm not totally convinced he'll play that. I think he'll drop onto the backhand now and just trying to rest the ball off or turn the jack.
Yeah, he needs just to arrive at this. Won't want to lose his own ball, so it'll be just nicely controlled. Just over the draw. Well, just going on the underside, I think. Just not going to reach.
Not much though. I tell you what, he gave a good go at it.
One shot.
Just trying to draw it off. David Gourlay takes a single, levels the scores at 3-all.
Set score 3-3 after 4 ends.
So you can see here Greg's last ball. Just looking just to arrive onto this jack, just to disturb it or sit the red ball away. Just lacking 9 or 10 inches of pace. It was a good effort though. So, all square. Start again.
Jack length 25
Just
and
a
a half
reminder,
meters.
it's 11 ends.
Decent
Jack is
start for
9
David.
inches.
And the years gone past, especially in last century and earlier in the 20th century, used to put a little bit of weight on the side of the bowls just to help with the bias. One stage, actually, the aristocracy had little silver discs,
Oh,
solid
right.
silver. The old lignum vitae bowls.
Never played flat green with the wooden bowls. I've played crown green for years with wooden bowls, but
Yeah,
not on the flat.
a lot of people still use the lignum
Good runners.
on the crown green. Different code, different variation, but all the same sport.
Craig just slipping past. Two fantastic
No,
opening
there's
bowls
inch
from
and a half
David.
gap, 2 red.
So it's finishing a good receiving spot. So David will be looking just to sneak past this jack. Somewhere around about the spot would be very good. Splits the two greens.
Just needs to get past the zone. Yeah, that's good stuff. Good bowling.
3 red.
Absolutely. Well, Greg, chance of the jack here. If he gets it absolutely perfect, he could make a 3.
Yeah, David was unlucky there. Played a good bowl. He just wanted to finish on the other side of the jack, really. But, oh, just a slight cough in the audience. So he'll retest himself.
Yes, we still are at towards the end of our winter, of course. Still a few people with colds and flus out there. I think I've rapidly got past mine in the last 24 hours.
Certainly sounds better today.
A lot better today, I have to say. Yeah, so it was a struggle for an hour or so yesterday for a while.
So David just needs to get into this triangle of green bowls.
Well, it's an interesting choice here because David's, the way he's pushed this, he must be thinking Greg's going to hit it. I can't imagine he will. Looked like a forehand cover to me.
Well, it's only a one bowl target, so there's a chance here for Greg.
Yep.
Can just play just control pace. You know, there's a turn on the jack for 3 or 4 shots.
Yep.
If he can sit the ball just past the jack, that'll be a good second.
There's a natural bend into the jack, and if he gets it right, he can come off the red ball, follow it through for the count of 3 or 4.
Well, he's in this area. Shot ball clean.
Yep.
Well played.
Played it really well.
1 shot, Greg Harlow.
So you can see there's a couple of
Set
options.
score
Shot
3-4
ball
after 5
or the
ends.
jack. Perfect pace, just enough to sit down. 1 shot, Greg Harlow.
Interesting choice for David to go backhand there instead of covering on the forehand. Took a bit of a risk.
Yeah, it certainly did. You can only guess what your opposition's going to play, I suppose. It was only a one ball target, though. It wasn't big.
I should say now that we've discussed the bowls that these are obviously composite bowls that they're using and all computer
Okay, 31
generated
inches.
now, computer profiled. One side's very slightly narrower than the other. Although when they found out how to get bias, it was done purely by accident.
Oh.
You have to go back to 16th, 17th century though. Bowls has a history, of course, of going back to Henry VIII when he banned it. Would you believe?
Really?
He did.
It's on the tee, yeah.
His archers were playing bowls for money instead of practicing their archery, so he banned it. But the aristocracy kept playing bowls because they liked to gamble, and they had to pay a fee, like a license fee.
Oh.
I like the history of sports, no matter what sport it is, and used to play with round balls, of course, and one of them cracked.
Yep, 1 green.
Chap went into his manor house, cut off the little ball at the top of the staircase, delivered it, and discovered that it bent because it had a flat side.
Oh, okay.
Bias was invented.
Just shows you how the slight fraction you change the bowl can affect the bias a huge amount.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's an old story I've used it before, so please don't complain. But I knew Jason didn't know it.
I didn't know that
That's
one.
all right. It's a whole lot more, but I'm not going to bore people with that.
Won't even remember it to tell it.
Oh, honestly. History of all sports, fascinating. No doubt about that. Doesn't matter what sport it is. Most of them have got a great history.
It's short.
David down low again on your second ball. Greg, line 2. Number 3. Still beatable, but these are these funny ends that you can play in the middle of a set and it just goes wrong. You end up losing a count.
Yeah, we've seen quite a few scrappy 3 and 4s over the last few days. So David, we're looking at just trying to get a really good second in here. Take a little bit of pressure off himself. It's a really good line.
Yeah, struggling for weight though. Just needs to hurry. Needs to run. Looks like second.
1 green.
Good ball. Good recovery ball.
Timeout called.
Well, Greg could just see the clock ticking away. There's a clock at each end of the green, of course. I thought he might have just played down the forehand to turn the jack. Oh.
Yes, they have 30 seconds to play their ball. They call for a timeout that adds an extra 60 seconds onto it. It's just to keep the game moving.
I can say if Greg can just get down to this jack.
Well, he played a good forehand the last time, dropped in for the shot. Just overplayed it this time. Interesting if David Gurley decides to play this on the backhand again, because the forehand's available to him to rest the green ball, drop back on the jack for the double. Front red one really protects him from doing any real damage.
Yep, he's down the forehand. Well, he's having a look at this. Will it bend?
Just not in time. Good effort, but still going to be 1 to green.
1 shot, Greg Harlow.
Set score 3-5 after 6 ends. Track length 31 metres.
Not a bad start.
Gap is
13 or
12
14 inches short of the jack. Both hands available.
Yes, and the whole idea is not to drop too short whenever the jack lengths are being moved about a bit. In the area as well, needs the jack. Got it.
Oh, well played. So, Greg swapping to the backhand. That's well played.
Well, got the shot by the looks of it.
Looks like it from here.
very close.
How far past is Greg?
Think about when you're playing with a shot clock at 30 seconds, you haven't got a lot of time to ask questions.
No.
This looks under. Just under the line. Needed the extra weight.
Well, if Greg can just get down to the jack.
Yep, he's got it. Played it well. Played it really well.
Doesn't make it any easier.
That's going to be hard to beat for David Gurley. It's awkward to say the least. You can certainly attack it, but green balls are going back.
Yes, I think if he's going to attack it, he just needs a clean jack on the forehand. Just depends on how wide that front port is. I think there is still a draw on, a nice wide draw.
It's probably the best of the two options at the moment.
Yeah. Remember, this is the biggest of the forehands. You see it's coming back now. Well, if this makes the trip...
Oh, has he been unlucky?
Needs to fall back.
Oh, what a ball. What a great shot.
I think it'll be one green, I think. It's hard to tell.
Red.
Oh, red.
Oh, what a ball from David Gurley.
Magnificent ball that was. Just hard to see with it being green. You can...
Well, it's never going to be easy.
Nope.
But you have to... Greg's sort of looking at the marker there as if to say, not so sure about this.
Greg has 3 times
I must admit, it looks green from our view. It's hard to tell.
They're all just roundabouts. That's all. I think you really need to be out there. Sometimes the red has a tendency to flare just very slightly on television. Gives you a slightly different, distorted view of it. But very, very close.
That was a tremendous shot from David Gurley. Greg Harlow played 2 cracking bowls, but David came back with a good forehand draw.
This is over 31 metres. They're going to fractions here.
Some good stuff. So, something similar for Greg. If he could just catch the jack, it might just bounce.
David's not sure. He's asking Francis Fletcher to have another look at this.
Well, Greg, he might not even need to. Oh, well.
Well, you know, I think when the balls are sitting that close, it's very dangerous to commit yourself.
Very slight favour on red, but I fancy the green ball still rolling round.
Well, that's covered himself. He fancies the green ball might be still moving around, but he's a very slight favour for red. Well, there you go.
Well, the best shot David could get here would be just to get to the green ball first.
I think he's on the wide side. Yeah, well, we're going to have the umpire will come out to sort this one out, and it'll be the very small calibers. They'll move all the debris that they can, but you have to prop that up. First of all, they'll not move the other bowl. There's no need to. Absolutely no need to move the other bowls, but they are touching. The red bowl at the front can be moved, but certainly not the other green one. I'll just leave it be though, and let them get on with it.
Measure for shot.
Yeah, the white has to go in underneath just to make absolutely sure. And take that one away. And now, Dan Blewett will have to get out the small calipers. Well, he's not even bothering. It looks like he's moving to the feeler gauges. Goodness me. Let's get the spark plugs out at the same time. Anybody that used to drive a car that had that used to put their points in, and they used feeler gauges to adjust them. And there you go. That's the feeler gauges coming out. That's how close it is. 1/1000 of an inch. Don't see this too often. So it is very rare, but it has to be a very steady hand to get down there. And Dan Blewett's pretty good. We'll just have to let Dan get on with it. I remember fixing the points in my old Mini years ago.
It's just getting...
Oh, that looks like 1 to green to me. That's going through.
I thought it was 1 to green.
Yep.
1 shot, Greg Harlow.
1 to green, and it actually looked as if it was in by sufficient margin, not to be any doubt about it. But it's up to the players. You know, the thing about markers and umpires are that everyone's only an opinion at the
That's right.
at the time, and it's up to the umpires to sort it out later. But it's up to the players to make sure they're comfortable with the way it was sitting. 6-3, 4 ends to go. Brought back old memories for me.
Yeah, it is only an opinion when you're talking about, you know, thousands of an inch. It's,
absolutely, yeah.
You know, both players had a chance to look at it themselves.
Nowadays, you don't need to worry about spark plugs and stuff like that too much in a car. You just lift the bonnet and close it again quickly. Too much technology in there. That's why I like old cars.
So, coming to the important end of this set now. So, David Gourlay 3 shots adrift. So, ideally, we're looking to just get back quick.
Yes, that measure was important for David Gourlay. You know, and, obviously 5-4 was a whole lot different. But very important that he scores in the next end or two. They can't allow Greg to get that 4 or 5 shots in front again.
Shot, 14 inches, yours 17.
Good with this. Oh, just got a little touch. Without that, he could have slipped off the front of the ball and dropped in for the shot. Still a good ball.
Yep, still a chance now for David. Just needs to make this second ball reach. It's on that good wide line again. Now, he'll come all the way back on a length. Just needs to run back to it. Yeah, well played. Greg might attack this.
So there's no reason why not if he plays it on the backhand. Forehand's got his own balls coming in. Well, in that case, he's really playing the percentages. Oh, he didn't get that one away. That seemed to bump, and You heard it really out of the hand, and he's missed it by a distance.
My last ball, Francis. How far shot is it?
Last bowl, 5 inches short of jack high.
Let's get right behind the jack. Make it count. Doesn't want to be short.
No, but he wants to get into the green ball if he can, and that's
well.
It's sort of ruined the forehand for Greg, but the backhand's very much there. You know, punch a ball, run onto the jack. Greg does get very good balls when he pushes the punch and run shots because he plays with controlled weight and he doesn't flash at them.
Timeout called. Greg has 2 timeouts remaining.
Looks like Ken just arrived on the backhand, stunned the ball, sit in its place. Doesn't want to be too quick. That front plant's not very good for Greg. If he's really quick, both green balls could go. Does like his forehand, but I just don't think there's anything available.
No, it's a backhand shot, and it's controlled weight in the backhand. If he punches the ball, he could run through onto the jack. Well, he's pushed this out wide. Well, that looks very much on a draw line, so he's staying away from the heavy shot. Yeah, it's a good ball. He's pushed it into the back position.
2 red.
So he...
Well, it's an easy-ish spare shot for David Gurley.
Yes, absolutely. It just means that David Gurley can't really reach this too much. That was Greg's last bowl, of course, because he missed with the runner.
Well, the line's good.
Wants to be gentle on the edge of his zone. He doesn't want to move the jack. Oh dear. No. Has he made that 2 into 1?
No, I think he should be. I think the red ball to the right of the jack should be second. It's
oh, that's desperately unlucky.
1 shot, David Gurley.
1 shot. No, that's really unlucky for David Gurley. That should have been a 3. His score should have been levelled. That little touch on the ball moved the jack a couple of inches, and you know, at best you're sort of thinking, well, you know, when a player plays that sort of shot and that happens, you sort of think, well, okay, he missed the shot, but he hasn't taken one off himself.
Yeah, that's right. It was very, very unfortunate. Anything other than the angle he got on that red ball, it was sitting in for 3.
5.5 metres.
Well, that will hurt. I can tell you, it's going to take a bit of concentration to get past that particular result.
Yeah, that's right. As you can see, he's still trailing now by 2. That'll put him level. There we go. Just slightly pushed through with his second bolt.
Hold 1, Greg. Thank you. 1 green.
It's just a bit loose, isn't it?
Yeah, like you say, just that last ball might be just still niggling away. Well, Greg's not punished him.
Nope, he's got another bite at this.
These are the chances you need to take. close as you can. This is a great correction, just needs to fall now.
1 red.
Oh, it's just sat to the side of the jack. Greg will reach that bowl.
Yes, he's just come out on the wing a little bit. It's unfortunate.
Not hanging around. So David's bowl's just fallen.
Shouldn't make any difference though. Now, Greg, can you get past the front green one? He's turned it up, but I don't think it's enough.
I wonder whether David might just swap to the backhand. Ball's fallen back.
1 red.
Well, that makes it safer. The ball's fallen back, but you can play the same ball again. Needs another one in though.
Oh, slightly wider line.
This will be interesting because if Greg's lying 2 seconds here, he could drive the ball off. If he's lying 1 second, they'll probably try and ease it off, which is a little bit of weight. It takes away the problem of trying to pick out the perfect line if you can play with more weight. No, I think he must have just 1 second where he's playing this.
Well, he can run off his own if he's reaching. He's not short, is he?
1 shot, David
He
Gurley.
is.
Oh, short by a long way too. David Gurley had moved in to lift that jack.
Set score 5-6 after 9 ends.
Well, just 2 ends remaining.
Yes, 11 shots scored, 9 ends. It's what you could call a tight game.
Yeah, it certainly is. Swings and roundabouts here. Both played some really good ends. Been just a couple of loose ends, but always expected during the course of a game. So you can see there, Greg Harlow leads by 1. A set he needs to win. A tie will be no good.
Greg Harlow will be looking to score at least a single in this end. Try and give himself a bit of a buffer going into the last one.
Yeah, good opening bowls here from both players. Nice round of applause.
Well, he needs to get onto his own ball with this, try and turn it down, but
1 green.
there's a little bit of a problem that second ball, hasn't it?
Yeah, certainly has.
Well, quite often he's played it well, but if there's going to be a short ball, that's what it's going to be. Well, David might be tempted to hit this and get it right back into the open.
Yeah, hit and recovery shot.
He's played it very controlled, which means that if he misses it, he stays on the rink. I think he's got it though. Ah, 1 out. Not the best result. Really not the best result for what he was looking for. But not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. At least he can see now. So it's a big bowl for Greg. Let's just get to this jack.
It's on the other side of the jack. How far is it going to run though? Looks like it's stopped.
1 green.
Well, David just looking at, just drawing anywhere inside the back green bowl. Just needs to bend.
That's quite a bit away. What on earth was David playing for there? I've no idea what he was doing with that one, Jace. You know, going into the next end is the last end, so he's given Greg the opportunity to add 2 shots.
Well, Greg's looking again. He can just get down. Doesn't want to fall on the jab.
Oh, he's made the double by the looks of it, but that was a very strange bowl by David Gurley. I don't quite understand that.
I think he was maybe just drawing and, I don't know, just let it slip.
Umpire, please.
Disappointed.
1 green and a measure.
Well, if it's 1 green, then...
Won't be so bothered about 1 green.
No, he's still in with a shout, but if it's 2 green, Greg's really very much in the driving seat. That was a very strange last ball from David Gurley. I can only imagine it was a mistake, that was all.
I think so. You can see just as soon as he let go of that ball, he wasn't happy.
Yep.
Just slightly pushed through it. So, yep, it's another green.
Oh, it's well in. Well, that's going to be hard now for David Gurley to stop a tie break.
2 shots, Greg Harlow.
There hasn't been 3 shots in this set. There's only been 2 trebles scored in the whole match.
Set score 5-8 after 10.
David Gurley on the 4th end and Greg Harlow on the 8th in the first set. So I fully expect this to be just a tight little end, and then we'll go into the 3-end tie break.
The crowd always like to see a tie break. Players not so much.
Nope. No, it's a different rules and different attitude to the way you play it. It's much more attacking 3 ends of bowls, if you need all 3 ends, that is. It's been a funny game in the second set. You know, there's been opportunities and...
It is Jack's on the tee. Yes, 1 red.
A little bit of a disturbance there, just resettle. There's always a possibility of that happening in any live sport. Players just need to resettle themselves.
Yeah, that's right, David. There's not many live sports that are as quiet as this sport, obviously, so it's just magnified a little bit in this sport.
It is. You know, so we really like to have some background music going, so any little conversations that are happening will be won't be a disturbance for anyone, and it's certainly worth playing it or toying with the idea.
2.5 feet to Jack High.
I think we should introduce it at least to find out if it would work.
Yep, there's various tournaments out there that do have live music, and depending on the venue, you know the kind of music you get in.
Well, yes, that's the next debate, isn't it?
There's only so much you can listen to a certain person for.
Yeah.
So, David, you need to reach this jack.
Second ball, David, dropping short. That was an opportunity. That was a big opportunity for David Gurley. Greg Harlow's got so much room here. He'll pop this one in. And he's probably surprised he's getting an extra go at this. Yep, that should be good enough. Still not terribly close, but it doesn't need to be.
No, that's right. Doesn't want to make any kind of targets. Just spread them far enough just to stop David getting a 3. So David needs to just put this as close as he can and then just see what the options are. Just asking Greg if he can just see the rink marker.
Well, you do have to go wide in that forehand, but like everything else, you just go shade over it, struggles to get back.
This will get the shot ball around this, just needs to run.
It's good enough for number 1, but
One red.
that's not where the problem lies. The problem lies in getting 3.
Timeout called. Greg has 1 timeout remaining.
Well, Craig will be looking at putting another bowl as close as he can, make it even more difficult for David. This is well played.
Oh, the touch of the jack will just finish it off. Can't see David making a 3 out of this now.
Yeah, even if he rebounds the jack, it'll only be 2.
2 green.
Unless, can he get a thick edge off the front, which is hard to tell.
I just can't see any way to develop a treble. If you're looking for a 2, you've got a chance, but certainly not a 3, not the way that's sitting. Well, there's the running bowl, the practice running bowl in many ways. Edge of the bowl is what he's looking for. Yeah, well, he's taken
1 green the second set.
the other bowl out, but it's still 1 to green. Greg Harlow will take the set. So, good effort. Just couldn't get the angles right. Almost impossible to develop anything out of it. But so David Gurley, 11-9, 9-5 for Greg Harlow. And it's been a very good game, very interesting game, full of all sorts of things. But we'll be back for a 3-end tie break. It's going to be fascinating. Join us in a couple of minutes.
first end, David won the toss. He's given the jack to Greg. Jack length 31 metres. Six inches short of jack high. Hold one. Jack is 7 inches short of the tee. Greg's last bowl, the gap is 12 inches. One red. Gap is 10 inches.
Forehand. Nothing for short.
Yes, turn of the jack, rest the ball off. All sorts of options on the forehand, on the narrow side. Extra little bit of weight on the ball in the area.
Just needs to hold up now.
Yeah, he's close to the red. Well, it's a good ball where it's finished, because you know what Greg's like on his forehand runners. He can come off bowls and angles and stuff, so it's a good ball there. He's usually in the area with those runners. So David needs another one in.
Well, down a good track again. All about the pace.
Not sure if he's pushed it.
Well, any tap on of his own will be better.
Well, yes, it'd be better if it sat down, to be honest with you, because Greg will flick that off. But the angle's good on the green ball to the left of the jack, just to come off and bring the jack over to the other green ball. That's Greg on the front inside edge of the mat. Inside line, bit of weight.
Well, might be getting a 1-2 off the jack.
He's very close. It's whether he gets a gap or not. Oh, he's just pushed it through, and he knew that was close. I've seen him being further away and got results. That was actually a very good effort, and he just didn't get the result with that one.
Thought he was getting just a slight touch on the wide green bowl back to the jack. Or even if he got slightly thicker on the back bowl, he might have just sat back in for the shot.
I think that's what he was playing for. Two of them were just chatting about that, and he's Greg saying, David, you take the jack, I want the last bowl, which is understandable at this level. hasn't been a dramatic difference in terms of what length the players are playing. So that's David's last board. He didn't need to play.
Okay, yeah. Didn't know if I got it.
No, it's right there.
Jack length 24 metres.
So David Gurley takes us the first end of the tie break. Seemed to be a bit of a discussion there about what was happening at the ends with the way the ball went through and fell back, but it was well out. So David Gurley takes a single.
Yeah, it's that away, and the red ball was definitely in.
Yeah, seemed to be a bit of a discussion about it with the two players, but well. Moving on.
Well, good adjustment. Just slipping past, just a foot. Well, down the backhand, Greg can just get round the front and sit off David Gourlay's ball. It'll be shot.
Yes, he's looking at a shoulder, but he doesn't need it with this one.
No, it's well played.
One green.
14 inches past Jack Hine.
14 inches past Jack. I think I'd want to go down and look at that, because it might be tempting for David to run this and just take his chances.
Yep, that's right. Flick it away.
Well, he's trying to draw. I'm not sure about this shot.
Well, his line's good. What's the pace like? Here it comes now.
Just over it. Yeah.
Doesn't want to block it in.
And he has. And he's left himself nothing to play now. I think that's where the problem lies. That it's locked in.
Yeah, it certainly does look locked in. So it was very close, though. It was a really good effort. So Greg down the backhand.
Well, he's just trying to draw it, but sort of need to see a bit of a slightly different angle on this to see what the... the two balls will go if David wants to play them, and but there's absolutely no guarantees. You know, it just doesn't look right. He may end up just having to draw this.
2 green.
Yes. There's nothing obvious on. I'm just wondering whether he can play on the inside edge and back onto the other one. But Greg's still got the last ball.
Well, he does, and perfect draw would be the way to set it up. But he was so close the last time; it's too easy to overcorrect. This is tough if he's going to draw this. Really tough. Oh my goodness, he's pushed it out wide. He's got a lot of work to do out there. He's right on the edge.
Here it comes now. Now, what is your pace like, David Gourlay? Needs to run.
Well, we don't know. That's the thing.
Remaining.
It's close. We'll know if Greg goes down to play and whether David says it's 1 to green. He's asking the marker.
And declared.
Greg's decided to declare the head. I thought David had just pushed it out slightly. You know, he looked at me as if he had just pushed it out that little bit further. Greg's putting his arms out, but he knows. You do not declare that head unless you know you're lying the shot.
Yeah, that's right, David. You'll have had a look at this.
Yeah, you know, there's no chance that this is a red ball because you just don't do that. You know, it's there's no point in putting your arms out like that because he'll know he's lying the shot. If he wasn't sure, he would have come down and tried to draw it. It was a fairly safe draw anyway. Yeah. Not even close.
Nope, doesn't even go through.
No.
So 1 green.
1 green, yeah.
So this final goes all the way to the end. So Greg's jack.
Jack length 31 metres.
So, last end of the tie-break. Players can nominate to destroy the end. Nominate as often as they wish, but they're only allowed to actually destroy it once. So the rules do change very slightly. Every other end in the match has to go on the respot if it goes outside the confines of the rink. And without the nomination, it'll go onto the respot anyway.
Jack's on the tee.
It's very much up to the player to inform the officials.
Yep, so David Gawley has the last ball. Greg's given him a little bit of room here for his opening ball. He'll be looking to get this in nice and close.
Yes, I think Greg would always go down on the fuller head because David has been dropping a little bit.
Yep, short again.
My ball, please.
2 feet past Jack high.
Oh dear, that's an opportunity, and the trouble for David is where it's finished is that forehand running ball that he likes.
That's right, yep, it's banging the way. He knew as soon as he let go of that ball, he wasn't happy. You could just see him shake his head.
And after just 1 ball he's played, he's suddenly on the defensive already.
Yeah, Greg's let him off again here, I think, just pulling up slightly short. So still a bit of room for both these players. I don't think any of them bowls will win this end. Stranger things have happened, but nice correction with this one. Well, line's good. Here it comes now.
Well, the correction has been made. It's just where this ball finishes, that's all.
It falls down, it'll be very good.
Didn't make the drop.
Right, 2 left. 2 timeouts.
Just 2 timeouts. 2.
I think Greg's just asking, yeah, how many timeouts left he has.
Yes, you want to keep 1 just for the last ball in case you need it, or if you destroy the end. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Greg nominates this and drives it.
Yeah, I think he might do. You're not guaranteed where the jack's going to go, so it's always best to just nominate, start again.
Timeout remaining.
Well, there's space though. There's a little bit more space than what I thought. So you might just try and draw it off.
Yeah, I think David's ball would have been better if it had just sat down, would have been just protected a little bit. Greg can just get to the corner of this red ball. He can just flick this away. I think it's all a case of what pace he plays with this.
Absolutely.
It will be a backhand reacher. Or is he playing down the forehand?
Well, he's playing the forehand. You know, I can understand why, because he much prefers the forehand, especially on his running balls. Doesn't appear to be any nominations, so he must be drawing.
Oh, say playing the forehand. It didn't look anything on with the runner, but looking to draw this off dead. Will it get back?
I don't think this one's going to get back, but the problem for David Gurley is, does he just leave it and say, Greg, well, you make the adjustment on your last ball?
Yeah,
it's close enough to make it hard.
Yes, it is. I think.
And if he puts one beside it...
Yeah. And that's why he's playing the forehand here. If he can just finish maybe 7 or 8 inches short and count, that will be quite difficult.
Yes, he has got the last ball, but Greg can go and look for this.
He's going for the spot, I think.
Oh, he's going on the respot, thinking Greg will play the backhand runner. And that's the respot's now covered in terms of, well, it's 2 feet away, but that's enough. Decision time. There's another timeout available for Greg Harlow, but he hasn't nominated to do anything. I think he'll nominate to destroy the end.
Timeout called. Greg has no timeouts remaining.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, he's just going to be drawing on the forehand.
Yeah, that's right, David, he is. If he's going to play any pace at this, I think he just needs to nominate. Leaving us thinking.
Nope, he's hasn't nominated. He must be going down to draw then.
It's very difficult.
Well, you know, you're talking about taking, what, half a yard off his last?
Yep.
You know, anything within 5 or 6 inches with these guys is beatable. That's the problem. You never feel confident if you're 5 or 6 inches away that you're going to get the shot.
That's correct. So this is a big bowl. Greg Harlow needs to get shot with this ball.
Yep. Going for the draw. He's turned the ball slightly on the forehand, which means he's on a slightly narrower line, I think. It's just, this is all about pace. Has he got the right pace to get back to the red ball?
Nope, he's not. Just
over by the looks of it. It is. David Gurley's going to take the match. That single, the third end. And David Gurley did play very well there. So did Greg, to be fair. Both of them contributed greatly to this final. It was a tough game. Over 11 ends, both sets. 11-9 to David Gurley, 9-5 to Greg Harlow in the second set. And then the tie-break, well, whenever you're going down to a few inches away, it's always going to be difficult. But it's never easy, is it? That's the point. So 11-9, 5-9, 2-1. The players will just take a moment or two. We'll take a short break to come back for the presentation. Join us in a couple of minutes here at Newton Hall in Blackpool for the presentation. Well, welcome back to Newton Hall as we see David Gurley just putting in the ball that was eventually to be the one that managed to win this particular tiebreak and take the title. Coming up off a wide line, just dropping all the way back in behind the jack. And Greg Harlow wasn't able to do anything about it in the end with his 2 efforts. So David Gurley, that was good enough to win the third end of the tiebreak and take the title. So over to Richard Madison, who's on the rink to present the players with their cheques and trophies.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a cracking final. Please welcome the presentation party, Director of Partington's Holidays, Andrea Chalice, and Head of Operations for Co-op Funeral Care East and West, Mark Potts. Well, it's been a great final. You've had a great afternoon. And unfortunately, as in every great match, there always has to be a runner-up. Please welcome onto the green, Greg Harlow. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome for your Co-op Funeral Care International Open Champion 2018, David Gurley. Well, we'll just have a quick word with the players, and Greg, if I may come to you first. It's been a cracking final, brilliant bowls from you, and you two are the masters. So I'm not actually going to talk about your match because I wouldn't have a clue what to ask you. What I will say though is, in the past, this is the 3rd time you have played each other. And Greg, you've beat him twice before, but not this time, so it's on as equal. But one of the biggest things, ladies and gentlemen, is that Greg, through his efforts, has retained the world #1 status. And I'm going to ask you, Greg, how does that feel?
First I was aware that David and I played twice in this final, but we have played in many, many other finals, and David has won more than his share of those. Between us, I'd hate to think how many finals we've actually appeared in on the World Bowls Tour. And obviously today didn't quite go my way. We had a fantastic tussle, and at the end of the day, it came down to one bowl. I was probably a foot heavy with my last, but David still would have had a bowl to reply with. So it could have gone either way. And all we can say, I mean, I'm sure David will have a word, but, massive thanks to the sponsors and to the hosts and to the World Bowls Tour. And a special thanks, obviously, to the crowd for coming and supporting, and for all the markers, because they've done every game this week. So we're tired, we're exhausted. They're absolutely, I can't say it on air. But thanks to everybody, thank you. And a massive well done to David.
Thanks a lot, Greg. David, I'll come to you. Again, I won't talk about the match, but you've played some cracking bowls all the way through the week. You're now the champion, but you're also world #2.
Yeah, it's been an amazing week. This club is really just so friendly. And a huge thank you to Jonathan. I'm in here at 7 o'clock in the morning and he makes sure he opens it up for me. So big thanks, John. Now, the players, we love coming here, and, we just hope long may it continue, Richard. But just a big thanks to Greg and his world #1.
Thanks very much, both. Enjoy yourselves, and we'll catch up with you later.
Well, congratulations to 2 players, Greg Harlow and David Gurley. And David Gurley played very well, and he's going to take the title home to Scotland. But it's been a wonderful time here at Newton Hall, no doubt about that, for the International Open. Thank you very much for your company.